Dr. Mukul Sangma ubalong omitri nang barim jong kejela bar ko poru u MLA jong sang Trinamool Congress. Habis mentah haka special mission ke belau rak do ba price tabulan banyang MLA jong kemulai hakade ba kejing lek tampu jong kipulit. Ula ong ba dangshan kar jingja ka belajah po Tura haka ba kaladan kejing temu ban pen kelumar ka jelang ke belau khot da omitri ba kejela kontrak Sangma. Dr. Mukul Sangma ha ba ai kan kejing kan labu kejing Kylli. Hato omitri ba Iakynduh Seng Lehnoh namar kat kum ki kendon bala pengat ik tugi beriu ki bala thaw ka jing kelumar ha katai ka sengi ha po Tura la pengat aki kendon ki badai bal ka an ka ba pengat ik Lehnoh ki bala thaw da ka parlimen jong kari India ha ka juko poru nakalyang jong Dr. Mukul Sangma ulapan pau ka jing sengukhia bagladon ka tugan ngot ki pulit ki ba persang ban penhe ia kini ka jingja na ba kila ong ba kinang pun kelumar ha katai ka sengi ki thu ban syem ya ka jing em jong omatri rang ba ulang kampat juja menuru banyak sengau baki pai ba ki ki aka jela ki thu ban syem ka jeng em jong omatri rang ba lani jong ki menteri ka sokar jela ulang ba kan dikri ki jingja ka diga basin ka benengkong ba kan dikri ka boj jong ki pulit ki banabar ki bashon menteri sipor hang dei kan ba ki pai ba ki badan hang ne pat kham tam ki nang ikmat ki dei ki bashong ki basa sa hang dei ulang ba amde ban ailat ki briu ba kam ki ni ki ban shabar ki ban penhe ban penthok lumari ki jingja ka ban jah ka ni ka jela.
Anybody? Okay, Dr. Mukul, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to participate in this very important special motion tabled by Honourable Member from Maulai. Mr. Speaker, sir, everybody's attention has been drawn to this unprecedented and unnecessary development that has unfolded in the preceding months this year, and which has also been a reason for many of the citizens of the state trying to get in touch with many of us. Maybe they might have tried to get in touch with you as well, Mr. Speaker, sir, expressing their concern because of the fact that something which is not considered consistent with the manner in which the state was governed, particularly in respect to dealing with the issues of law and order situation, which is contrary to the usual approach that has been considered appropriate and was adopted. We have gone through a number of challenges in the past, situations which definitely were something which were considered as dreaded and beyond control at a certain point of time. We know for certain as to what were those factors which led our state to reach to that kind of situation in the past. And therefore, making the long story short, I think it is incumbent upon all of us, all the privileged elected member of this august house, and particularly the privileged friends of this august house who have the responsibility of governing the state, the honors of responsibility of governance. Now, in order to ensure that we are able to effectively govern and deliver, we have innumerable laws enacted by both Parliament and the state. Now, these laws have their intent, because in every law that we have, rather any bill that we introduce before the state legislature or in the Parliament, comes with explanatory note. The objectives of every law, every bill that has been mandated by the respective house, whether it is Parliament or the state legislature. Now, therefore, in a democracy, the rule of law is designed to ensure that the law is capable of infusing a sense of order, sense of security amongst the citizens. Insulate people from the chances of having the sense of fear or sense of insecurity. Because The people who are mandated with the mandate of the law themselves are around us, around the people. But today, in the preceding months, what we have seen is just opposite to what is actually the mandate of the Constitution and the legal implications of various laws that is being, rather than using them, are being misused. We are all governed by our commitment, our oath, because when we assume office, we enter into the office only after taking an oath. The oath to discharge our responsibilities inconsistent with the law established and the Constitution of India, without fear or favor. I repeat, without fear or favor. Because that is what is considered as the basic spirit of democracy, without fear or favor. Now here, if we see every incident that has unfolded in the preceding months, this very aspect of our discharging our responsibility consistent with the law established and the Constitution of India without fear or favor is completely defiled. And this is painful to see this is happening, because our honors of responsibility lies in ensuring that the installation of faith and confidence in the system does not get threatened under any circumstances. That is how the sustainability of the democracy happens. We see in many of the countries, coup after coup in African nations, dangerous trend. Coup. Today, this great nation has been able to withstand that kind of challenges, and we must withstand. But the way the things are being navigated by the people in power, in authority, are going to undo what we have been able to establish over the decades, after the freedom which we achieved, and after the independence, and after the statehood. Our own people, the great leaders of the state, wanted our state because we wanted to have our own people to have the privilege of governing our own state and our own people, because we understand that by doing so we will have people in the hand of affairs of governance who understand our people, our sentiments, which were not so when we were part of Assam. But today, when we have this privilege, with our grateful heart, remembering the contribution of our great leaders of the past, that we have our own state and our own people to take the charge of the whole hands of affairs of governance. Today we are unfortunate to see what is happening. Now, the incidents have been already narrated eloquently, elaborately by the mover of the motion, also supplemented by our distinguished members of this August House, who have taken pain to participate. Now here, I think we have to look at our responsibility as the guardian of the law, as guardian of the people. People look at us as though we are holding the position of the head of the family. In Garo we call Bhagapa. In English we'll call father. So we have all those nomenclature that we use, both in our Khasi community, in our Jaintia community, in our Garo community, and also other communities who happens to have the privilege of being part of this beautiful state. Now, here, I have been tempted to express my concern even before I could speak today in this August House. Look at the law which is being clamped whenever such incidents have taken place. Which relevant sections of the law are being clamped upon those people, our own people? in a given situation where there is some law and order related challenge confronting the district administration, we will always be confronted by challenges, by difficulties. But at the same time, when we handle such situations, the intent that revolves around the manner in which these issues are handled should be very, very with in-depth understanding of the fallout of such way of dealing with the situation must be understood. The power of comprehension of the likely offshoot or the outcome or the result of every action, because every action has got its equal and opposite reaction. What is the kind of message that we are sending? I would therefore like to urge upon the government, draw the attention of the government to relook at all those things that has happened in the preceding few months. Because this is something which is unprecedented. And if this is not properly given due weightage by the political executives, I'm afraid it will become unhealthy precedents for the future. Unhealthy precedents for the future, which will have its own ramification, the ramification of where people will start seeing erosion of trust and confidence in our system. The perceived sense of insecurity because of the manner in which the position and authority are being misused and abused creates a sense of perception that, okay, people who are privileged to be in the helm of affairs of governance, or particularly the officers, the so-called elitist group, have the audacity to go beyond what is the mandate of the law, because they know the helplessness of the innocent people. When authorities misuse the mandate of the law in order to crush people's disagreement on issues, what does the message speak? The message will be that, come what may, irrespective of what is mandated by the Constitution, don't speak ill of the people in authority, or don't ever dare to express your sentiment vis-a-vis your disagreement. But this particular approach is only going to have the worst adverse ramification in the years to come. Law cannot be weaponized. Law cannot be weaponized to remain insulated from the concerns of the people, or rather to choke the voice of the people. What we have seen in the past preceding months is that the law has been weaponized to choke the voice of the people. This is something which is unprecedented. Never has in the history of Meghalaya such high-handedness been seen. So what is the message? Message is that, okay, people who are privileged to be officers, police officers, can do whatever they like. Therefore, what is the way out for others? How do they get justice? Government's responsibility is to ensure justice. Our responsibility is to ensure justice. When justice is denied, will they come to us to seek justice? It will be very difficult for us to even convince that, please believe in us, law of the land will prevail over everything else. We will be finding it difficult to convince. Why I'm saying this is because we have gone through that situation in the past when it was so difficult to convince people to believe us, to convince our misguided youth who took gun and went to the jungle, waging war against the state and nation, to call them back, to have the trust on the system, on the government, on the intent. Today, what we see today, that incident of Maula itself is a blot in the history of Meghalaya's governance, because it gives reason for people to doubt our intents, our sincerity, our commitment. Same thing has happened even in respect to Garo Hills. Some of the misguided youth who agreed to respond to the call of the government, give up arms, dissociate themselves from the banned outfits, banned terrorist organization, when they agreed to come and join the national mainstream, they were given training, they were given counseling by all concerned, including the churches, so that they mold themselves to live along with us and be productive citizens, be part of the whole growth story of the state and the nation. What happened? Some of those people who are yet to receive the money for rehabilitation package, they keep on coming and asking me, sir, what has happened to our that entitlement? 5 years have gone. So these are not something which I believe the government is having all these informations available with the political department and the home department. Please review those things and send strong message that whatever might have been the reason for the delay, but then we do not betray, we keep our words. Continuity of the responsibility. Government. We say government of Meghalaya. We do not say, okay, government of so-and-so, Mr. So-and-so. So government of Meghalaya must be seen keeping up the promises that we made to our people. This must be inconsistent with the mandate of the law in operational and mandate of the Constitution of India. Now, for the purpose of, again, drawing the attention of the government, look at the relevant sections which were clamped on those people who were arrested post-Tura mayhem. Yes. Which law? The law which is enacted by the parliament to deal with terrorists, to deal with the terrorists. Now, the mandate of this Unlawful Prevention Activities Act 1967 is very clear and is guided by the objective, the intention of that very law which has been passed and which is still operational. Now, terrorists, any terrorist organization will be notified by Ministry of Home Affairs, not by the state government. Now, the mayhem of the Tura, post this unfortunate incident, after the authorities clamped different sections of law, including the section which is under Unlawful Prevention Activities Act. Now, I want to question the government through you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Was the Chief Minister allowed to meet people who are already members of terrorist organization, banned organization? Mr. Speaker, sir, even the Chief Minister or the Home Minister cannot meet any member of the banned outfits without the complete due process followed by the state government and the Union Home Ministry. It is sacrosanct. Anybody who is waging war against the state, we cannot meet. I had to counsel many of my colleagues while we had the privilege of being in government that you cannot talk directly to the members of the banned outfit. Therefore, was the Chief Minister meeting those members of the banned outfit in Tura to deal with the situation? And if so, that means the district administration, particularly the police, knew who they were meeting. What was the situation prior to meeting and at the time of meeting? Mr. Speaker, sir, you are also one of the elected members from western part of the state. 24 MLAs from Garo Hills region. What was the social media narrative being circulated? We were all being blamed. All the MLAs of Garo Hills, why are you keeping silent? In the matter of an issue which revolves around the interests of the community. We were provoked. We were provoked. Still, we had to counsel many of our colleagues, don't get influenced by those kind of narratives. Even as of now, there are narratives which is in circulation in various social media platforms, which points a finger at us, questioning our loyalty to our community. Why was it not prevented in the first instance? And who are those who were pointing finger at the members of this August House, loyalty towards our committed duty and responsibility towards the interests of our people? Therefore, the government of the day has more job to do to understand who are those belonging to this particular group, forces who are trying to color all the MLAs of this August House as anti-Garo. It's a very dangerous trend. It is a very dangerous trend. Therefore, there are relevant laws. There are relevant laws. This August House has legislated number of such laws. This August House has also further amended those various laws to give the enough strength and power from the legal perspective to the authorities in the state. But, Mr. Speaker, sir, UAPA 1967 is meant for terrorists. Parents of some of the arrested children met me. Some of these youth are the only youth who have reached to this level in respect of pursuing their academic career. Maybe after completing their studies, they intend to go back and be part of the growth story, development story that the state's people would like to see and witness. Today, these young boys and all, because of the inefficiency of the district police, just to hide their inefficiency, went up to the extent of arresting and clamping this law which is designed for the terrorists. I'm sorry. It pains and hurts our, body, mind and soul to see these things happen. I have never heard any time in this long innings of my public life that people entered into a conspiracy to kill a chief minister or a minister in the state of Meghalaya. It has never happened. You have all the record of the inputs that we have collected over the years, over the decades, while we were in the worst situation. So, there's some police officers, because of their inefficiency, or is it to just create that kind of bonhomie with the people in power, in authority? Mr. Speaker, sir, we have the Police Act 2010 effectively deliberated, discussed and passed by this August House. Go by this Police Act 2010. It's like a Bible. It's like the scripture for the police. There is also a police, your state, different committees. Different committees are there. One of the very important committee is to be headed by the Minister in charge, Home, to see whether the organization is in sync with the mandate of various laws. The responsibility of answering to the government on their actions, because we as people belonging to this political class must be really concerned about the way officers abuse their authority. Some of the officers will run away from this state after some years, but we are going to be here. We are going to remain here. Our children are going to remain here. We don't want to be remembered as those who were perpetrators of people's rights. and allowed people who are insensitive to the sentiment of our people coming and showing their might by abuse of power. So many incidents are there which is reflective of this attitude beyond reasonable doubt. And all these informations are available with the political department. Therefore, I would like to urge the government, please do not use laws which are designed for dealing with terrorists. There are enough laws which is available to deal with the situation. Please don't take this submission as anything intended to offend our friends in government. It is not. With heavy heart, I'm making this submission. Let us correct it. Let our ego and our pride do not come in between. I have gone through this kind of situation in the past. There were instances when I could have put many of the politicians who are in this August House in the jail at that time. We did not do it because this is not the spirit of our Khasis, Garos and Janjas. Yes, Samajdaron ke liye sarai kafe, many people know what I'm saying. Even now the relevant cases are still there. Did we misuse? No, let us not do it. And if anybody has tried to misguide the government, like what the DGP was saying, what type of officer is this? Accountability committee is there under the mandate of the Police Act 2010. Accountability committee. I would urge upon the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, who is also in charge of Home Police, to immediately activate this particular act. Use your power. Let the people know that the constitutional provision empowering the policymakers supersedes every individual's whims and fancies and the tendency of misusing authority. The Home Department should look into this. Political department should look into it. And if the members who are booked under the act which is meant for dealing with terrorists, if these people are terrorists, then there's a process. That process has to be followed. And this process has not been followed. That means they are not terrorists. So, do exhaustive due diligence of the whole circumstances leading into this situation. Use those relevant laws. But please, for God's sake, political department should decide that this particular law is inconsistent with the given situation, and this will be unnecessarily unhealthy precedents which we must all avoid under any circumstances. So with these few words, I, with utmost sense of humility and sincerity and trust and faith, make this submission. Please, let us do justice. Let whatever we decide send a strong message that yes, we are here to give justice. You don't have to go anywhere else to knock for justice. Therefore, let justice emanate from this very august house. Let our heart be molded and directed and guided by the wisdom of God. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.